Before you scroll away, pause for just one heartbeat, because what you're about to hear is the kind of moment people replay again and again, the kind that gives you goosebumps and makes you believe in hidden miracles. If stories that surprise your soul move you, tap like right now, subscribe to the channel, and stay with me until the very end, because nobody, absolutely nobody, expected this voice. The line outside the audition hall wrapped around the building under the harsh afternoon sun. Teenagers laughed nervously, parents whispered prayers, and dreams waited quietly in the air. Among them stood a slim Filipino boy, barely 16, wearing a white jumpsuit with flared legs, a wide belt glittering with fake rhinestones, and a jet-black pompadour that looked like it belonged to another era. Some people stared. Others smirked. A few quietly laughed. To them, he looked like a costume, like someone playing pretend. His name was Miguel Santos, and he clutched his audition number so tightly that the paper had creased in half. Miguel had grown up in a small coastal town in the Philippines where electricity went out as often as hope did. His father had left when he was 8, chasing work overseas and never returning. His mother worked long shifts at a roadside eatery, coming home late with tired eyes but a brave smile she wore just for him. Music was their escape. On an old, scratched DVD player, Miguel watched Elvis Presley performances over and over, hips swaying, voice booming, confidence pouring from every movement. To Miguel, Elvis wasn't just a singer. He was proof that someone from nothing could become unforgettable. At school, Miguel was the odd one. He didn't have the latest phone or trendy clothes. When talent day came and he sang an Elvis song in English with a shaky accent, laughter filled the classroom. Someone called him Budget Elvis. Another said he should sing karaoke, not dream big. Miguel smiled through it, but that night he cried quietly so his mother wouldn't hear. Still, he practiced every day, singing while washing dishes, while walking to school, while staring at the ceiling before sleep, imagining a stage bigger than his fears. Now, standing backstage at the audition, Miguel felt that same fear crawling up his spine. He could hear other contestants warming up, perfect pop runs, powerful belting, voices that sounded polished and confident. He looked down at his costume and wondered, just for a second, if he had made a terrible mistake. Then he remembered his mother's words that morning as she hugged him before he left. "Even if they don't clap, sing like you matter," she said. "Because you do." When his number was called, Miguel walked onto the stage under blinding lights. The judges glanced at him, eyebrows raised. One leaned forward, trying not to smile. Another exchanged a look that said, "This should be interesting." The audience murmured. Some giggled. Miguel introduced himself softly, his voice barely audible. When asked why he dressed like Elvis, he answered honestly. "Because he makes me feel brave." The music started. For a split second, nothing happened. Miguel closed his eyes, took a breath, and then he sang. The sound that came out of him didn't match the boy standing there. It wasn't thin or shaky. It was rich, deep, and powerful, wrapped in emotion that felt far too heavy for someone so young. The first note cut through the room like lightning. The laughter stopped. The judges froze. Audience members leaned forward in their seats, mouths slowly opening in disbelief. This wasn't an imitation. This was something raw, something alive. As Miguel sang, his nerves melted away. He wasn't on a stage anymore, he was every lonely night, every tear he swallowed, every time he was told he wasn't enough. His voice cracked in all the right places, not from weakness but from truth. When he hit the high note, perfectly controlled yet full of pain, a woman in the audience wiped her eyes. One judge whispered, "Oh my God." By the time the final note echoed into silence, the room held its breath. Miguel stood still, afraid to look up. Then the applause exploded. People jumped to their feet. Cheers filled the hall. One judge slammed the desk in shock, another laughed through tears. The same people who had smirked minutes earlier were now clapping harder than anyone else. Miguel's eyes searched the crowd, overwhelmed, and for a moment he imagined his mother watching from their tiny living room, hands over her mouth, heart pounding. When the judges spoke, their words blurred together, praise, amazement, disbelief, but one sentence cut through everything. "You didn't come here to dress like Elvis," a judge said gently. "You came here to remind us what music is supposed to feel like." When the golden buzzer was pressed, the stage erupted in gold confetti. Miguel dropped to his knees, shaking, tears streaming down his face. He didn't cry because he had won something. He cried because, for the first time, the world had listened. That night, the video spread faster than anyone could imagine. Millions of views. Comments from around the world. People saying they cried, that they felt hope again, that they saw themselves in that boy dressed like Elvis. Back home, Miguel's mother watched the screen in disbelief, whispering her son's name like a prayer answered. Miguel's journey wasn't suddenly perfect. There were still challenges ahead, still pressure, still fear. But something had changed forever. He no longer sang to prove himself. He sang because his voice mattered, and so did he. And maybe that's why this moment hits so deep. Because we all know what it feels like to be underestimated, to be laughed at before we're heard. Miguel's voice didn't just shock a room, it reminded us that greatness often comes from the places no one is looking. If this story moved you even a little, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more unforgettable moments like this. Sometimes, all it takes is one voice to change everything, and the next one might be waiting right here.